Hello again. One of my viewers sent me an article that was posted on the Washington Times. I'm going to read it and I'm going to interject my comments as I go through it. It starts off, former Judge Andrew Napolitano published an eye-opening column on Wednesday in which he revealed that former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton armed radical Middle Eastern organizations that were on the U.S. terror list. Well, I don't believe that it was Hillary Rodham Clinton that did that. I think she participated in it, but the lead individual responsible for all those events, none other than Barack Hussein Obama, the Manchurian candidate. It goes on to say, during her time as Secretary of State, Clinton convinced both President Barack Obama and congressional leaders to allow her to arm rebel factions in Syria and Libya in an effort to overthrow the governments of those countries. Again, a misstatement. It was Barack Hussein Obama that chose to depose the president of Libya, Muammar Gaddafi. Obama wanted the weapons that Gaddafi had so he could distribute them through his friends in Turkey, Tayyip Erdogan, and have them supplied to the rebel freedom fighters, who, by the way, morphed into ISIS. It goes on to say, soon after she convinced Mark Tooney, the lawful licensed American arms dealer, to sell weapons to the government of Qatar. She then had Qatar sell, barter, or outright hand over those weapons to rebel groups in Libya and Syria. Judge Andrew Napolitano is giving Hillary far too much credit. She had no way of even knowing who Mark Tooney was, let alone how to negotiate with him. It goes on to say, according to Judge Napolitano, some of the groups that received weapons were terrorists, such as the men who stormed into the American consulate in Benghazi and murdered U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans. Well, I have no doubt that that's probably true, but Hillary was also instrumental in making that come about. And the reason that is a week prior, before the scheduled meeting that Chris Stevens had arranged, he had told her he'd be there on 9/11/12, and Hillary reassigned 14 Marines that were there to protect the facility. Someone needs to look into why the CIA annex was there. Well, we know the answer to that question. It goes on to say, Clinton's secret war not only empowered our enemies, but also cost us the lives of a number of Americans. Well, that's also true. But it wasn't Hillary's secret war, it was, and it is, Barack Hussein Obama's. Furthermore, Clinton later lied under oath about all of this when Senator Rand Paul asked Clinton at a public hearing on a Senate Armed Services Committee on January the 23rd, 2013, whether she knew about American arms shipped to the Middle East, to Turkey, or to any other country. She claimed ignorance. And then when the senator asked her whether she had purposely used the consulate, which wasn't a consulate, it was a facility, in Benghazi to procure, buy, sell, and obtain weapons by the Libyans and Syrians, she said, Senator, you have to direct that question to the agency that ran the annex. The agency that ran the annex is the CIA agency. And the leader of the CIA is who? John Brennan. And what is John Brennan other than the leader of the CIA? Well, he's a converted Islamic. That's what he is. He's a Muslim. It goes on to say, Clinton armed Middle Eastern terrorist groups and then lied to Congress about it. We also know that Clinton used a private email address on a personal server to hide those sorts of actions from everybody else. Well, it wasn't just Hillary that armed the terrorist groups. It was the senator from the great state of Arizona who fought adamantly and feverishly to make certain that weapons were being shipped to the Syrian rebel freedom fighters. He actually went over to Syria on a number of occasions, and during one of those visits, he met with Baghdadi, who happens to be the leader of ISIS. As Judge Napolitano asked in his column, how much longer can a lawless go unchallenged and unprosecuted? Well, the judge needs to sort of look into the facts, and he's right. She does need to be prosecuted, but not only her. Barack Hussein Obama needs to be dragged out of the White House by the Sergeant of Arms, tried for countless acts of treasons, including the murder of American citizens with drones. So, now you have it. The whole thing is totally insane. And you know what? It's not going to get any better.